Well, just before the last parliamentary session, Julia Gillard delivered a landmark speech in Melbourne, comparing her government's reforms to those of the Hawke-Keating years. Well, Parliament resumes again next week, and tonight the Prime Minister has been speaking in her hometown of Adelaide, this time distancing herself from her partner in minority government, the Greens. Here's Late Line's political correspondent Tom Eagleton.
Labor's National Secretary Carl Bettar quit today.
He's done a good job in what have been sometimes very difficult circumstances.
He was the architect of Labor's last election campaign, one fought largely on the defensive and which delivered Julia Gillard minority government. Her forced alliance with the Greens has proved politically damaging early in her term, as she acknowledged in a speech this evening.
Now, if I'd been leading a majority government, I would have been getting on with an emissions trading scheme, just as I promised the Australian people.
And tonight, in an unprecedented move for an alliance that's been mostly peaceful, she turned on the party that she says forced her into that backflip.
The Greens are not a party of government and have no tradition of striking the balance required to deliver major reform. Like the economic transformation of the 1980s, this is a reform that can only be handled in the progressive Labor tradition.
And the Prime Minister didn't stop there.
Your name is not Julia, but Julia.
Taking on media pundits who've questioned the need for a carbon tax by laying out the science of climate change.
The scientific consensus is stronger than ever. Given these realities, I ask, who would I rather have on my side? Alan Jones, Piers Ackerman and Andrew Bolt, or the CSIRO, the Australian Academy of Science, the Bureau of Meteorology, NASA, the US National Atmospheric Administration and every reputable climate scientist in the world.
Is this the new real Julia, one prepared to be drawn into public stoushes with her detractors, and even one prepared to paint her minority coalition partners as dreamers unacquainted with the burdens of real power? And the Prime Minister may soon have an international critic to add to the domestic ones. China's expected to raise a protest about a visit to Parliament next week by Rebia Kadir, the exiled leader of a Muslim ethnic minority in China.
Like the Tibetans, the Uyghurs want autonomy that's guaranteed to them under a Chinese federation. They are quite a distinct people with their own culture.
Ms Kadir's last visit 2 years ago became a flashpoint in relations between Canberra and Beijing, where she's considered an enemy of the state on par with the Dalai Lama. Her visit's being organised by government MP Michael Danby.
She'll be here to talk about the continuation of Uyghur culture under the current circumstances where China has a fairly hardline attitude towards political dissent and human rights.
The timing's sensitive, with China in the midst of a crackdown on dissent following calls for a so-called Jasmine revolution against the government, inspired by the uprising in the Arab world. Tom Eagleton, Late Line.